What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk to you about safe trout handling or fish handling practices that you can employ to help land better fish safely during warmer water temperatures or just in general to help preserve the water system that you're fishing. So I just hooked my fish. I'm fighting it. I know the water temperature is about that crest point, pushing up for trout, for example, around that 68-degree mark. I'm going to fight the fish as robustly as possible. I'm going to put as much side pressure or as much pressure as I can in the belly of the rod to land the fish quickly. Now, there are going to be argumentatively different methods to what best practice is, depending on your fishery. If you are fishing in shin-deep water, all the way, it's a large water system, you probably don't necessarily need to worry about whether you're using a net or not. If you're fishing barbless, quite often, if your fish is fought hard and tamed, whenever you run your hand down the leader, you can get a hand on the fly itself and wet your hand, control the fish, or sometimes if it's small enough you don't need to, pinch that barbless fly, turn it, and the fish falls right off back into the water. No harm, no foul. The other thought is if you're fishing in an area where there's potential for the fish to harm itself on rocks or beach itself, I do recommend using a landing net with a rubberized basket, just because it makes controlling the fish easier. So especially if you're somebody who doesn't have barbless, you're not you're fishing in small water or on meadow streams or whatever, and you notice that there's lots of different debris and stuff the fish could get on its body. You're trying to maintain the slime coat here. Land the fish in the net. Keep it in running water. Let that net bag sit in the water. Unhook the fish. Best practice would be if the fish were landed nose out. You just kind of put the net back down. The fish will swim itself out into the current. But if need be, remember, if 30 seconds out of the water is about the max I would leave the fish, just so that if you think about it, if you need a photo and you want to take it out of the water or control the fish at all, wet your hands first, touch the fish, let it go, swim back into the water. Those are sweet shots anyway. That's for trout. Most fish are about the same threshold of tolerance, or a little hardier. I always control any fish: bass, bluegill, perch, muskie, pike, trout, salmon, in the same way I control trout. Just a means of quickly getting them unhooked, unpinned, and back into the water. When you're holding bass, please make sure that if you are lipping a bass, that it is vertical, or you're supporting it at some point under the belly. When you're gripping trout under the belly, please do not death grip it. Please remember that vital organs that are important to the fish's survival lay in here. Don't squeeze the fish. If anything, rest the fish, kind of like, up from underneath, and let it swim away. It'll let you know when it's ready to go. If you notice the fish isn't taking off immediately, some best practices: if I'm sitting here in current, I try and get a firm grip on the caudal peduncle here, which is towards the tail end of the fish, and I let the fish regain itself. And what I mean by that is the water's coming, it is starting to feel like it's kicking up, it's gaining some speed. Until it's ready to rip out of your hands, try not to let the fish go or push the fish. Pushing the fish and raking it back and forth in the current does not help the animal. Please don't do that. If anything, let the natural current do that. And if you're not a natural current, while the fish is still in the water, try and find something with at least a nice current to it, walking pace. And like I said, control the fish from the back, under the belly, or just from the tail, until it's ready to kick itself off and back into the stream. That's how at least professionals in the industry are trying to release fish in a way that allows them to get back in the game, and safely, as well as on their own fruition. And so far it's having great return. So please be mindful of your fish. If you're going to take it and you're going to harvest the animal, please quickly and ethically harvest the animal. Please don't slit it and bleed it so that it sits in the water for a while. Harvest the animal, and that way you're doing less harm to the fish. I mean, it is an animal, so just try and take good care of the resources that we have, and put a good name out for all those who don't do what we do, to see that we have the best interest at heart for our conservation practices. But hopefully this was informative. If it was, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Check out the other videos in the playlist. Please check out our apparel. Lots of cool designs dropping every week. Please check out the other videos in the playlist. Lots of other really highly educational content in the playlist as well. But you guys know what to do. Until next time, guys, tight lines.